Okay. Woo! Ready? I'm going to use the force on this one. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what is going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? Turn the volume down here. Everything's touch. It's all touch on this fancy microphone here. Go down. Go down. There we go. There we go. I know this is out of the ordinary. For whatever reason, when I go out of schedule, when I decide to do something like this, like a midday, or 3:40 p.m. seems midday to me, although it kind of feels like the end of a shift as well. Like it feels like the end of the night. As I was literally sitting down, I just got done doing the virtual learning with the kiddos. Actually, we had a test, whatever you want to call it, where the school conducts, like they're trying to figure out where my kindergartner, where my youngest child, Adeline, is at. As soon as we got done with that, like literally 5 minutes, I come in here, sit down, and then my phone starts blowing up. Oh my God, we get to play A&M. We get to make up the game. And I'm like, I need to talk about that. We need to put out a video. So instead of putting together a 2-hour, and I don't have that kind of time anyways this afternoon, I got a lot of stuff to get done. We still have some work left to do, me and the kiddos. Still got to make sure they got all their work done. But I figured, you know what? We're going to do this. I know when I do these out of nowhere live streams, notifications for whatever reason struggle to get put out. I do try and post this across social media, but if you guys would do me a favor, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the content, I'd really appreciate it. It goes a long ways, it really does. I will not be on tomorrow's podcast, the Hog Talk. Our schedules just aren't going to align today, to record. So I don't know. I know Kyle will probably be recording it. I'm assuming he'll bring on Porter or Cabo or somebody, maybe all of them. I don't know. But I will not be on tomorrow's Hog Talk podcast. So, but those guys, they always deliver the goods. Kyle and Porter and Cabo, all those guys. They deliver the goods. Okay. Yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. I also want to say, holy cow, last night's post-game stream, it was incredible. If you are unable to make these, you're missing out. And it's not always your fault, but I know I've had people come through and like, yeah, I didn't know if I would enjoy the post-game stuff or not. I like just your general information. I think sometimes, I don't know if that's what I'm looking for. And I'm like, what? You're missing out. And so I'll get those people and they come back and they're like, damn, that was fun. That was a good show. That was good stuff. I love the comment section. I love the things that you had to say. Got a little rowdy up in here. Sure does. Gets fun. So if you're missing out on those, if you're able to make them, and I understand too, there's people who just can't make them. Okay. Let's get caught up on this stuff, huh? How about this? I have said all year long, we knew games were going to get postponed, and that's why I think the selection committee, when it comes to the NCAA tournament, when it comes to March Madness, they have a lot of things they're gonna have to figure out, and it sounds like as of at the moment, February 25th, 2021. For anyone who's watching this 20 years in the future, assuming I haven't been completely canceled and thrown off YouTube by that point, or my channel, anyways. It looks like the NCAA wants to go forward. It looks like we're gonna have a normal SEC tournament and a normal NCAA tournament for the most part. Outside of, now the SEC's coming out, despite saying a little while back that you couldn't make up the games that were postponed. They were essentially canceled. Now we're getting them. We're getting at least one game. So let's go down the list. By the way, shout out Hitstick Central. Trip, how you doing, brother? Tyler Edmonson. Hey, man. How you doing, Tyler? Hope all's well. Robert Ainsworth, the man, the myth, the legend himself. He's in chat. Let's go down this list here really quick. Okay, March 6th is the makeup date. Okay? March 6th. You're not going to be, Arkansas's not the only team playing. You're going to end up, Alabama at Georgia is going to be made up. Oh, boy. That's going to be a real fun one, isn't it? I don't know. You never know. Georgia, they're sneaky outside of getting blasted by the Razorbacks earlier this year. LSU at Mizzou, which was originally scheduled for January 9th. Mississippi State at Auburn, which was originally scheduled for February 16th. Texas A&M at Arkansas, originally scheduled for February 6th, and I love that they're getting the game in Fayetteville. Because this was on A&M. This wasn't on Arkansas. A&M had the COVID issues. So originally, again, this is March 6th. Originally, this was supposed to happen February 6th. I mean, that is yeah, that game, well, I mean, it makes sense too that was supposed to be a home game for Arkansas anyways. So, or was it? No, was that an away game? I get them mixed up. Anyways, regardless, you're getting to play that one in Fayetteville. South Carolina at Kentucky, which was originally scheduled for December 29th, and then Vanderbilt at Ole Miss. And then March 7th, you're going to get which could be an interesting one, because keep in mind, like, this is going to interrupt seeding a little bit. It could, possibly. I mean, it will, maybe for a couple of teams. Florida at Tennessee, which was originally scheduled for February 10th. That's interesting. And I'm actually getting this news from Bama Central, their Fan Nation page. So if you guys want to, I can throw that link for you in the chat here really quick. Let me copy and paste. Will it let me copy and paste? I don't know. Bing bang boom, bing bang boom. What up, Ty? How you doing, Hoyt? There's the if you guys want to go check out that link. Yeah, it's their it's si.com. Well, now wait a minute. Fan Nation. Okay, I thought that was something else. Okay. Anyways, there it is. There's a link. Arkansas hosting A&M. I love that that's the game that they get to make up because it's at home, and rightfully so. A&M was at fault. You're coming to get your asses kicked, Texas A&M, no matter how badly you tried to avoid this damn game. I'm sorry. You're coming to get your ass whooped. This isn't just like, oh, look, Arkansas beat Bama. Look at him. He thinks Arkansas is something special. Well, they are. I think they're a lot better than what we thought they were after they had those losses to LSU. Well, Missouri, LSU, and Bama. After you got blown out when you had back-to-back double-digit losses there. I've known everyone here. We all talked about it. That is the worst basketball we've seen, maybe even in the last few years at Arkansas, and we knew they were so much better than that. I have watched A&M play a little bit this year. I've obviously watched, I think I've seen 90% of Arkansas basketball this year in terms of like possession for possession. I've not missed a game, I don't think. There might have been a non-conference game. But conference play, which was where the competition, where it stepped up, I don't think I've missed. Maybe, but I think there was one opening. Who was that? Was that Tennessee earlier in the year? I wasn't able to get to the first few possessions of that one. I think I missed like the first 2 or 3 minutes. I've watched a lot of Razorback basketball is my point, and I've seen A&M play, and they're not good. They're horrible. They're bad. Only way Arkansas loses this game is if they get hit by COVID. And they have, because they're so thick, there's so much depth on this team that if they do get hit by COVID and they're able to contain it, but it does hit you depth-wise, that could happen. Or if you just have, Justin Smith goes down with an injury, Devo, who I think is him and Justin Smith and Jalen Williams have been such a big part of why this team has turned it around in the second half of the season. Justin Smith is obviously 100%. There were a couple of games there, 2 or 3 games when he came back from his injury or from his surgery, where we were like, nope, I don't know. I think he's not 100%. You can see he's having a hard time. This is a guy who can like put his chin on the rim. He's having a hard time making, going after loose balls and having a hard time rebounding the ball off the rim or defending the glass. You could see it. And now, since then, he's gotten healthier and he's at his best on the year, and he looks phenomenal. And look at the difference, right? On the year, he is so big in this on this roster. He means so much to this roster. And then Jalen Williams and obviously Devo, who I talked about quite a bit last night. So impressed with what they've been able to do this year, especially they've gotten better. And I listened to Moses Moody talk, you're starting to see why he's a lottery pick. You're starting to see it. It's unfolding on the court before our very eyes. He's talented. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. And I liked what he said. He said we looked at film and we saw what we did wrong. And a media member asked him. Actually, this was a one-on-one interview he had. I don't remember who it was with, but I caught it. It was on was it YouTube or Twitter? Someone had posted the video, and it was only like 5 or 6 minutes long. And he just said what we noticed was against Alabama, we had to adjust entirely how we played out on the perimeter. I complained about that last night, like to the Hog Talk guys, to I think maybe even to Discord, to my dad, to some other friends of mine, some other text groups I'm in. I'm in like 10, I swear. And I'm talking like minimum of 4 people in all these groups, maybe 3 in one. But I complained about it, and I had a few people who had said, well, that's just Arkansas's defense. They do that on purpose. And I'm like, no, they don't. There's definitely an issue outside on the perimeter and their inability to defend the perimeter. And Alabama still had some open shots, but I loved Moody's response. It was last time we played them, they hit a ton of threes. We made adjustments for this one, and we chased them off the line more. They did have more contested shots, and they didn't mind Reese. I talked about that too. They didn't mind Reese taking those open threes. They let him. All of his shots, I swear, every three was uncontested. You could tell they didn't give a damn that guy was shooting the ball. I'm okay with that. But then you had some other guys go off. You had at least one other player just absolutely go off on Arkansas. And still had too many uncontested threes, in my opinion. I think 90% of your threes outside, unless you're just really good at setting up, creating your own open look outside on the perimeter. Unless you're just really good at that, there's no excuse for the amount of threes that Arkansas has been uncontested threes that the Razorbacks have given up this year. I don't mind 1 or 2, but I think like 90% they should be contested. There ought to be at least a hand up in the air. It's somewhere in the vicinity of the guy who's shooting the ball out on the perimeter trying to knock down the three. And I loved Moody's response. He was just like, yeah, we watched it on film. We caught it. We saw what we did wrong. It's pretty obvious, too. You looked at the stat sheet. Yeah, you can look at the stat sheet, but I like that he talked about going back to film, and they really wanted to correct what they got wrong, and they did that. And he said too, that's not who we are. That team that lost those back-to-back embarrassing losses to LSU and Bama, that's not who we are. So they're going to get an opportunity to make up the A&M game. I wish they could make them both up, because you're getting set up here for the tournament. Again, it's seeding is everything, and if you're concerned about, if you think Arkansas needs some more wins even after regular season, well, this game against A&M may not play a huge impact. It may not have a big impact on Arkansas, but it can impact obviously who you play in the SEC tournament. And obviously the higher seeding you want that, and so you get this extra chance against A&M. And those other teams also get the opportunity to make up their lost games as well. So it sets you up nice and pretty for the NCAA tournament. So if you're someone who believes we've got to get more wins, even if we win out, even if we beat LSU and South Carolina, we still need more wins. And for the case of seeding, SEC and NCAA, I would argue that now these last 3 games, no longer 2, these last 3 games are very, very important. Skylar Degler says, add me. Add you to what? What are you talking about? What's up, Mr. T-Dub, with the $10 live chat or super chat. Y'all go watch and like Ty's interview with Mark Rogers. I was on the Mark Rogers TV show. If you guys haven't checked it out, I do. If you go to the community tab, that link is provided for you there. But if you should just go find his channel anyways and subscribe. Mark does a good job. He covers the entire landscape of college football, and he's trying to expand out to the SEC. So if you wanna go check him out there. But I've been on his show now twice. Good dude. He's a real good guy. Shout out to Mr. T-Dub for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Add me. Add you to what? Are we the first game the Aggies going to play since the end of January? You know what? That's a good question, actually. Is it? I think it is. Oh my God, I think it is. They're 8-7 right now on the year, 2-6 in conference play. They have not played since Kansas State. What's the date on this? What's the date? January 30th. Yeah. That is something to consider, but they're bad. Texas A&M is not a very good team. I watched them play when they beat Auburn, which was an impressive game for them. But I watched them play Tennessee a little bit. I watched quite a bit of them actually. I hate A&M and teams I really hate. I tend to watch more. I just hate them. I hate that cult. I want to beat them so badly. Just not been impressed with them. They did beat. Again, they've got a nice win against Auburn at the time, and they did beat Kansas State, 68-61. Not that Kansas State is anything super special, but that was a good win for them. They went on the road and they beat Mississippi State. But again, these guys, they're 2-6. You wonder how much of that is actually, I think it might really be a disadvantage when you've been off that amount of time. Yeah, you've had time to get healthy, right? You've had time to rest. You're going to have plenty of time to get ready for that game. But here's the thing. You've still got games you've got to play, right? They've got Mississippi State on the 3rd because they had to postpone their game. I mean, they've postponed everything. Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Florida, Bama, Arkansas again, at Kentucky, at Mizzou. And they got to play Mississippi State on the 3rd. And then Arkansas would be next. So technically they still have one more game before they play Arkansas. But, yeah, they haven't played since January. They're, I don't know. You've got to wonder, how does that set them up for the Mississippi State game? I mean, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Mississippi State 7-8, 13-11 overall, but they're 7-8 in conference play. I hope they lose out. So, yeah. JD needs to shoot more, says Skyler. Not interested in playing A&M at this point in the season. Does nothing for us. I couldn't disagree more. If we win and hurts. If we don't win, does nothing for us if we win. I see what you're saying. It does nothing for us if we win and hurts if we don't win. It could potentially hurt you if you don't win. I agree with that. I don't think they do. I could be wrong. I just don't think they do. But Mush should call off the A&M game as they're getting off the bus in Fayetteville. Oh, man, that was good. That was good, Justin. Nice. Could you imagine? Oh, my God. Send your asses back to Texas, son. Get out. Oh, man. No, I listen, I think they should play this. I think it's good they're making it up. It's an extra game. You talk about body of work. It's not a game that's going to benefit you a lot in terms of national seeding, but it's another win on the resume. And when you consider COVID and how it's affected, look, if they go about this, if the NCAA selection committee goes about this business as usual, you need every win you can get because, there's always that threshold, the amount of wins, right? I mean, so now all of a sudden, if you do win out, the SEC tournament at that point, I mean, yeah, I don't want them to take the tournament off, but you don't feel as much pressure. What if they can make them both up, right? So, I mean, there's an opportunity here that Arkansas, I mean, you're no longer just looking at, okay, well, if you win out, if you beat LSU and South Carolina, that puts you at 20-5. Well, now if you beat A&M, that puts you at 21-5 going into the SEC tournament. See what I'm saying? It sets you up pretty nicely. Sets you up nicely for seeding in the SEC tournament and potentially gets you maybe another win or two in the SEC tournament. Something tells me this game's going to get postponed anyways. 3 postponements wouldn't shock me. Would not shock me. So right now, the way the SEC, I had so Wednesday, March 10th is the start of the SEC tournament. That's game 1. That's 12 seed versus 13 seed. And then the second round would be March 11th, and you got a whole bunch of games that day. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on March 11th. Then you've got March 12th, March 13th, as you get down to the final game on Sunday on March 14th. Your last several champions Auburn won I shouldn't say last year, 2019, and then it was 4 straight by Kentucky. I'm not pulling up the full history there, but and for people who are like, oh, I want that championship, I could care less about an SEC championship. I don't think Nolan ever gave a crap about the SEC tournament. I think to him it was just in the way. Similar to how I think Dave Van Horn looks at the college baseball, the SEC tournament. Waste of time. It's in the way. We're going to play something bigger. Let us have the time to prep. I don't know if Muss sees it that way or not. And look, I'm not saying either that you for sure win out. LSU is still a team that you need to circle. I'm always leery of South Carolina. Like, I realize they're struggling this year. I know they're horrible, but something about them, they're one of those teams. They have nothing to lose. That game also makes me a little, don't overlook it, right? 3-10, SEC play 5-12. But LSU really is your next game it's your next game on your schedule, but it's definitely of the 3 remaining games now. LSU is your that's a big one. LSU 14-7, right? They're 3rd in the conference right now, 9-5 in conference play, 3.5 games out for first place. Lost to Georgia, 91-78. I don't know what the hell happened to them. But look, man, money stacks Will Wade. Oh, wiretap Will. He's got it going. I mean, they should probably. I mean, I don't know if they're going to make the tournament or not, but if anyone is in a position where they absolutely have to win out and have to go into the SEC tournament and make it and do something special there, it's these guys, right? Like, that's going to be their mindset. This is one of those teams where I think the selection committee, I don't know how they handle a team like LSU. Right? You look at their postponements, the cancellations. They were supposed to play North Texas, South Florida. Those were both postponed. Ole Miss, Florida, which was a big one at the time, postponed. They're going to get that chance to make it up. But, yeah, LSU, Missouri is going to be the makeup for them on March 6th. So, let me go back to chat here really quick. Boop, boop, boop. We need all the wins we can get. Absolutely. That's how I look at it, and I think that's how Eric Musselman's looking at it. I hope Moody doesn't do that and leave the rest of the guys hanging. Do you think Moody might consider skipping the NCAA tournament? I don't think so. I can't read his mind. So this Hit Stick Central wants to know, do you think Moody might consider skipping the NCAA tournament to get ready for the NBA draft? I don't know the guy personally, obviously. Listening to him, reading about him, I don't know a ton about, home life. I don't know a ton there, but I know he's moved around a little bit. But I don't see him doing that. I could be wrong. Kids today, I mean, especially when you've got money waving in your face. We've already had one player opt out a couple of weeks or last week. I think it was a Duke player, right? Some kid at Duke. It was a Duke or North Carolina. It was one of those blue bloods. You had a kid opt out for the rest of the year. That's not opting out. That's walking out on your team, if you want my honest opinion. Basketball to me it's different than football. Especially with Arkansas having as much writing on the line. I have a hard time seeing Moody walk away. I have a hard time seeing that. And you consider the situation that Arkansas is in, right? I mean, let's say they're in the NCAA tournament, and then Moody's like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and forego the rest of the season, and I'm going to get ready for the NBA draft. How would an NBA team look at that, really? Would it knock him out of the first round? Absolutely not. I mean, his potential is it's really high. What he does on the floor, even as a freshman, is impressive. It is very impressive how big of an impact he has. Fans haven't really experienced Arkansas without Moses Moody, and I think if you took him out, if you didn't have him in the NCAA tournament, oh my God, I think it changes quite a bit. Fortunately, Devo has stepped up, but he's not the same kind of player. You're talking about two different roles. I I don't know what they would do if looking at it from Arkansas side of things, if that were to happen. We have to realize something. This is not 1974. And I'm not accusing anyone on Arkansas's roster of not being loyal to the Razorbacks, but things are different. These kids just view things a little bit differently, and it's hard to turn down that money, man. It's real hard to turn down that money. I don't blame anybody because I don't know what I would do in that situation. If I'm being honest, I really don't. I'm a diehard Razorback. You guys know that. I try not to show my bias, but it just flops out there. LSU is our next big hurdle, but we need wins. Moody is good. It needs another year. I don't know about that, Hoyt. Last night was a true indication. No nights off in the NBA. Moody shot poorly last night. Hoyt, you might want to go back and watch that game. Moody was pretty good, man. I mean, I thought he did all right. I definitely don't think he needs another year of development. Well, could he benefit from another year? Yes, I'm with you on that. He absolutely could benefit, but I think everybody could benefit from coming back another year. I would say that about anybody. I thought Heston Kjerstad could have used another year. I know that's another sport, but I'm just saying. I'm not impressed with Moody. He needs to stay another year. Oh, you guys, come on now. Shot poorly. Check his numbers. He didn't shoot well, but I don't think you understand what he brings to the floor. And not only that, the NBA draft works differently in that it's not based on pure – it's not like the NFL draft where you look at a guy, you watch his film, and you go, oh, that's what you're getting in the NFL. Splashed in with a little bit of potential, right? Like that's how you balance it out in the NFL draft. You're going to look at a guy, what he's done on film, and what you think his ceiling is, what his potential is. College basketball, the NBA draft, it's like 75% potential. And that's what he has. His potential is through the roof. I don't think some people – we haven't experienced Arkansas basketball this year, this team, this roster. We haven't experienced this year without Moses Moody. What he does, the impact that he has. And see, I remember arguing with people about Isaiah Joe last year on this. And then you saw the different kind of basketball that was happening on the floor when Joe wasn't out there. It put everything on Mason Jones' shoulder last year. We missed a lot of free throws last night. Should have been 20-point lead. Should have been. You're absolutely right. How much do you think he'll move up? Right now, I mean, I think he's projected as a lottery pick. I mean, I think he's somewhere in the top 8, top 10. I'm selfish. I want Moody back, but I'm realistic. He ain't coming back. Yeah, he's not. Hogs will be ranked at least 11th or 12th. I hope you're right, Johnny Cash. And the Ring of Fire. I don't know. Not impressed with Moody. Thomas, I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't know how you could watch him play this year and say he's not impressed. He's a freshman. The guy's averaging almost 17 points a game. He hustles on both ends of the floor, plays pretty good defense. He's not an elite defender. He's your leading scorer. This guy's right under 17 points a game. I think Eric Musselman said there's 4 other freshmen that average above 20 minutes of play in the country. And I don't think they're I could be wrong on this. Now, this wasn't what Musselman said, but I don't think any of them are putting up almost 17 points a game. Long wingspan, moves up and down the floor really well. He could play. You could flex him in a couple different positions on both ends of the floor. His potential is really high, and that's why he's such a highly rated draft pick. Again, go look at any draft board right now. I'm not saying he ends up being a lottery pick. He may not. There may be enough film to suggest, and you'll hear scouts every once in a while talk about film, or you'll hear, it's usually it's usually the manager, it's usually the someone out of the front office who'll say, well, we watched film and this kind of said this or that, but they'll tell you too but their potential is this or that. And I think his potential, it's really high. So he could move up. I mean, he could absolutely move up. He could also drop out of the top 15. Anything could happen. And I think with COVID and with how everything's kind of panned out this year, Moses Moody, he could drop. I mean, that is absolutely possible. But right now, everyone believes he is a lottery pick, and I like what I'm getting out of him. I love his production this year. And I think too, we hear about all the hype behind him being a draft pick, and we expect not LeBron James type of performance, but we're expecting like 20 points a game, averaging almost double-doubles. Like, I think we have that in our head. A lot of fans do. I've heard this time and time again. That's not how the NBA draft works. It's primarily off potential. Because how many of these guys that are coming out have only played 1, 2, maybe even 3 years? You're talking about 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. And it's also the difference between college basketball, even though I love the college game so much more, and I'm a Celtics fan, but I love the college game so much more than I do the NBA game. But the talent differences between the NBA and college is just it's a pretty thick line. Fishman with the $5 super chat. Ty, do you realize ever since I said I was off the train, we haven't lost? I guess I'm still off the train. I guess you are, man. Timothy Henderson, are you seeing this? He a freshman of the year finalist. Yeah, I've obviously I think Sharif Cooper is gonna be in that conversation. Because he's at Arkansas, does he get it? Right? Like it's that chip on the shoulder that just talks. They're not gonna get it. They hate Arkansas. We'll see if he gets it. Should he? Is he deserving of it? Yes, I think he is. What day will they start updating ranking this week? I think Monday, right? Next Monday. You're gonna get a lot of people talking about seeding this week too. Let's see. Hogs went out, says Johnny Cash. I've said it for 8 weeks now. What have you said for 8 weeks? Hogs will be at least ranked 11th or 12th. Oh, I see. About being ranked. Are we going to recruit 3-point shooters? That's what we are missing. I think you got a couple of guys in your roster now that are potential, that can knock it down deep. But, we'll have to wait and see, right? Okay. Do me a favor. Again, I know that where are we at here? Okay, I went 4 minutes over. I wanted to keep this at 30 minutes. I've got to get back to the kiddos. Make sure we got all of our work turned in, all the virtual learning stuff. Good times. Yeah, they're not loving the Hogs. They don't win. You feel it, right? And when you do get player of the week, right? You get co-player of the week. We'll get co-player of the year or something. You watch that, or Moses Moody will be co-freshman of the year. I don't know. Diamond Hogs. Yeah, well, right now, Hoyt, I think they're losing. I saw they were losing 3-0. And I'm not going to lie to you. I have a Twitch channel, and I had thought about just streaming the game if I could find it, but I don't know if I want to risk that because I don't want my channel being banned. I don't know what the score is. Razorback Baseball Twitter here really quick. This is what I hate about Razorback Baseball Twitter. It drives me crazy. They have someone hit a home run. Christian Franklin hit a home run because of course he did. Was it a solo home run? Because I'm seeing 3-0. They don't update the damn score. Razorback Twitter. Someone tweet at them and say, please update the score more. I don't know why they don't do this. Like, you have to scroll down. Like 20 minutes ago was the last time you got a score update, and it was 3-0. I guess I can't complain too much because 3 tweets in a row were the score. But then it's been 20 minutes. It's a score update. Come on, you're killing me. Jalen Battles from South Texas. Kid's going to be a baller. Yeah, I'm excited. All right. Did we get another donation? Was there another? Do me a favor again, guys. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Tap the subscribe button. To the new subscribers, welcome. I don't when I go live, it's typically post-game shows at the moment. This was sporadic. I had a little bit of time. I had 30, 40 minutes to sit here and chat with you guys. I'm glad you guys came through. I do appreciate it. I'm going to have to disagree with some people on Moses Moody. If you didn't like the production on Moses Moody this year, I mean, I don't know. I think some of it we were spoiled with Mason Jones and Isaiah Joe. I think we were a little bit spoiled with that. We kind of expect great numbers, double doubles. He ought to be, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, 8 rebounds a game, and 19 to 25 points a game or something. And look, that's just not how it works. It's not how the NBA draft works. Again, a lot of it's based on potential. And but I've loved I think his production on the court this year, especially when you consider the amount of time this kid gets. I'm loving it, man. There's a reason why he's getting that kind of time on the floor. So great win, obviously, last night. Hogs again going to make this game up against A&M on March 6th. Do we have a time? Is there a time here? I don't see a time. All tickets from the A&M game scheduled for February 6th will be honored for the March 6th contest. So for anybody who did get that, by the way, here, let me before I go here, let's flip the screen. There we go. Here we go. There you go. Okay. Right there, all tickets. Then you can visit. You can get all this information at ArkansasRazorbacks.com. You can email them here if you've got any questions about the tickets. Razorback Ticket Center. There's their website there. The 20th ranked Razorbacks return to Bud Walton on February 27th to host LSU. Tip-off is at 1 p.m. and the game will be televised on ESPN2. And there's your rescheduled games right there. Bing, bang, boom. I'm all about it. So, all right. Is that it? Is that all we have? Wait, I'm just getting here. What's this about the A&M game? Yeah, it got picked back up, Tony. It got picked back up. They're gonna play this game again on March 6th. We don't have a time. I'm guessing it's gonna be in the evening. Because Alabama, Georgia is slated. Well, that's on CBS, though. That's not SEC Network or ESPN. I don't know. So we're going to have to stand by on the time, I guess. If you have any questions, this game is at Bud Walton. Oh, they have a 575 number. I remember that. I think that's been the same number to their ticket office for years. Our old landline number, because I lived on the south side of Fayetteville, our old phone number started with 575. So I remember. Of course, it was 501 back in the day for you old school, for you OGs in Northwest Arkansas. It was 501 575 bop 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 bop. But yeah, if you want to contact them, it's 479-575-5151. That's locally. Obviously, if you're out of the area, it's 800-982-4647 or Hogs. So yeah, okay, all right. Now we're out. We're gone. I do appreciate you guys. And Woo Pig. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do a post game or not. Just make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the notification bell. That's all I can tell you. I hope if I know I'm going to go live, I'll try to keep you guys up to date. I'm real bad about posting stuff on Twitter, but if I can remember to, I'll post on Twitter and remind you guys that I am or that I am not going live after the game. I do have my phone on me. I don't know where we'll be watching the game, but I could do it that way, but not really. I did that one time, the Mizzou game last year. It was a little weird, walking around talking with the phone. But anyways, okay. Hope maybe I'll see you then. If not, probably going to do a Monday live show or it may just be the next post-game show. Just, again, hit the notification bell. That way you're up to date. Okay? Woo Pig. Go Hogs. I'll see you guys later.